Chosen one. What if one of the greatest financial blessings God has prepared for your future isn't money? What if it's a person? Most people spend their lives praying for bigger paychecks, better opportunities, or miraculous provision. But throughout the Bible, God often followed a different pattern. Before he entrusted someone with greater influence, greater responsibility, or greater abundance, he first aligned them with the right people. Because wealth doesn't begin with money, it begins with alignment. The enemy understands this better than most believers do. That's why he works tirelessly to connect God's people with relationships that distract their purpose, weaken their faith, and slowly drain the future God intended for them. A single wrong relationship can cost years of progress, but one God-ordained partnership can multiply what decades of striving never could. Maybe you've been wondering why certain relationships suddenly ended, why the person you expected to stay walked away, or why God still hasn't brought the partner you've been praying for. What if those delays were never punishment? What if God was protecting the future he's preparing for you? Stay with me until the very end, because the final biblical principle in this message is the one almost everyone overlooks, and it may completely change the way you recognize the person God brings into your life. Missing it could mean overlooking one of the greatest blessings God has prepared for your purpose. And before we begin, subscribe to the channel and comment, "Lord, prepare me for your purpose." Every message on this channel is designed to help chosen ones grow in biblical wisdom, strengthen their faith, and build the kind of life God can confidently entrust with greater influence, greater responsibility, and lasting prosperity. Now, let's uncover why, before God increases your wealth, he often prepares the person who will help you carry it. Chosen one. One of the greatest misconceptions about wealth is believing that it starts with money. It doesn't. According to Scripture, wealth begins with alignment. Before God entrusted Joseph with the wealth of Egypt, he aligned him with Pharaoh. Before Ruth entered a season of abundance, God aligned her path with Boaz. Before Priscilla and Aquila became powerful leaders in the early church, God joined them together with a shared mission. Again and again, the Bible reveals the same pattern. God often changes your relationships before he changes your resources. Why? Because the people closest to you will either multiply your calling or slowly diminish it. Think about your own life. Who speaks into your decisions? Who shapes the way you think about work, money, generosity, and faith? Who encourages you to become more disciplined? And who quietly convinces you to settle for less? These questions matter because every relationship carries influence, and influence over time becomes direction. That's why Proverbs 13:20 says, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." Notice that Solomon doesn't begin with money. He begins with people. Many believers spend years praying for financial breakthrough while remaining connected to relationships that constantly pull them away from God's wisdom. They ask God to increase their harvest while ignoring the soil surrounding the seed. This is why not every closed door is a loss. Sometimes God removes a relationship because he sees a future you cannot yet see. Sometimes what feels like rejection is actually protection. Not because the other person is evil, but because they are not aligned with the purpose God is shaping within you. If you are single, don't rush ahead of God's timing because loneliness can make compromise look like destiny. And if you are married, remember that this message is not about searching for someone else. It is about becoming the kind of husband or wife who strengthens the calling God has placed on your family. Chosen one, before God places greater wealth in your hands, he often asks a quieter question: who is walking beside you? and where are they leading you? Chosen one. There is something remarkable about the way God builds his kingdom. He rarely calls two people together so that one can simply carry the other. He brings them together so that both become stronger than they could ever be alone. This is the difference between a helper and a multiplier. The world often tells us to choose a relationship based on attraction, comfort, or personal happiness. But Scripture consistently points to something deeper: shared purpose. When God created Eve, he didn't create someone to distract Adam from his assignment. He created someone who would help him fulfill it. That principle still matters today. A God-centered relationship doesn't make your purpose smaller. It makes your ability to carry it greater. Imagine trying to build a house while someone beside you keeps removing the bricks you've just laid. No matter how hard you work, you'll never move forward. That's exactly what happens when two people are moving in opposite spiritual directions. One is trying to build, the other is unknowingly pulling everything apart. Now imagine the opposite. Two people praying together, learning together, growing in wisdom together, making financial decisions together, encouraging one another to remain faithful when life becomes difficult. That kind of partnership doesn't merely add strength, it multiplies it. Ecclesiastes 4:9 reminds us, "Two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor." Notice what Scripture says. Not simply that two people feel happier together, but that their labor produces a greater return. This isn't just about finances, it's about every area of life: faith, character, leadership, stewardship, and influence. The enemy understands this principle as well. That's why he doesn't always try to destroy your future through dramatic temptation. Sometimes he simply convinces you to unite your life with someone who pulls you away from the person God is shaping you to become. Chosen one, never mistake chemistry for calling. The right partner won't just love who you are today. They will challenge you, encourage you, and walk beside you as God transforms you into the person He created you to be. Because when God joins two people for His purpose, He isn't merely creating a relationship. He is building a foundation strong enough to carry the blessings He intends to entrust to them. Chosen one. Here's a truth that many people don't want to hear. The greatest preparation for wealth isn't finding the right spouse, it's becoming the right person. Too many people pray, "God, send me someone who will change my life." But God is asking, are you becoming someone who can faithfully carry the life I'm preparing for you? Throughout the Bible, God almost always worked on the individual before He established the partnership. Think about Joseph. Before God elevated him to influence, Joseph spent years learning integrity in places no one wanted to be: a pit, a prison, and a foreign land. His character was being built long before his position ever changed. Think about Ruth. Before she met Boaz, she demonstrated loyalty, humility, diligence, and faithfulness. She wasn't chasing a wealthy man. She was faithfully living out the values God had already placed within her. The pattern is impossible to ignore. God prepares people before He joins people. Why? Because a relationship cannot fix a heart that refuses to grow. No spouse can replace discipline. No marriage can create wisdom overnight. No successful partner can compensate for pride, laziness, or poor stewardship. If those issues remain unchanged, greater blessings simply create greater problems. That's why Proverbs reminds us that the Lord weighs the heart. He sees beyond appearance, beyond talent, beyond potential. He sees the person you are becoming when no one else is watching. So instead of asking only, "Lord, where is the person you promised?" perhaps a better prayer is, "Lord, Prepare me to recognize, honor, and faithfully walk beside the person you choose. Because when two prepared people meet, they don't complete one another. They strengthen one another's God-given purpose. Chosen one, never assume God's delay means God's denial. Sometimes heaven is not delaying your future. Heaven is developing your character. And when your character is ready to carry greater responsibility, you'll often discover that God's timing for the right relationships begins to unfold at exactly the right moment. Chosen one. Most people measure the cost of a relationship by what they lose emotionally. God often measures it by what it costs spiritually. Not every relationship destroys your future through betrayal. Some destroy it through distraction. Little by little, day after day, your passion grows weaker. Your discipline fades. Your prayer life becomes inconsistent. Your vision becomes smaller. Without realizing it, you begin settling for a life far below what God was preparing you to build. That's exactly what happened to Solomon. The wisest man who ever lived didn't lose his kingdom overnight. He lost it one compromise at a time. Scripture tells us that his wives gradually turned his heart away from the Lord. The problem wasn't simply marriage, it was alignment. The people closest to him slowly influenced the direction of his heart, and once his heart changed, every other part of his life eventually followed. This is why the enemy often attacks relationships before he attacks resources. He knows that if he can influence the people around you, he may never have to fight you directly, because the voices you hear every day eventually become the thoughts you believe. Ask yourself honestly, do the people closest to you inspire greater faith or greater fear? Do they encourage wise stewardship or constant consumption? Do they challenge you to grow or make excuses for staying comfortable? These are not small questions. They determine the direction of your future. The right partner won't pressure you to abandon your calling in exchange for temporary comfort. They will remind you why God gave you that calling in the first place. Chosen one, never choose someone simply because they make life easier. Choose the kind of relationship that helps you become more faithful, more disciplined, more humble, and more committed to God's purpose. Because temporary attraction can change your emotions, but godly alignment can change generations. The greatest relationship God gives you will never compete with His purpose for your life. It will strengthen it. And that's the kind of foundation upon which lasting prosperity is built. Chosen one. If you've remembered only one thing from this message, let it be this. God's purpose for marriage was never simply to make two people happy. It was to make them fruitful. From the very beginning, God's design was larger than romance. When He brought two people together, He gave them a mission before He gave them comfort. Their relationship was meant to reflect His character, expand His kingdom, and faithfully steward everything He placed into their hands. That's why the strongest biblical partnerships were never centered on themselves. They were centered on God's purpose. Their relationship became a place where faith grew stronger, wisdom became sharper, generosity became easier, and future generations were impacted. That is true prosperity. Because real wealth isn't measured only by what sits in your bank account. It's measured by what remains after your life is over. The faith you passed on, the people you served, the children you raised, the lives you changed, the legacy you left behind. Money can disappear in a single generation, but a God-centered legacy can bless generations you will never meet. Perhaps that's why Jesus asked, "For what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul?" The greatest tragedy isn't dying without riches. It's gaining everything the world celebrates while losing the purpose God created you to fulfill. So, if you're still waiting for the right person, don't waste the waiting. Use this season to deepen your relationship with God. Grow in wisdom. Become faithful with what you already have. Develop the habits that will bless your future family long before they ever exist. And if God has already given you a spouse, don't ask only how they can improve your life. Ask how the two of you can better serve the purpose God has entrusted to you together. Chosen one, perhaps the greatest financial blessing God will ever give you isn't simply a larger income. It's a partner who helps you remain faithful when success comes, humble when abundance grows, and focused on the mission long after the money has arrived. Because when two people pursue God's purpose together, wealth is no longer the destination. It simply becomes one of the tools God entrusts to those who are faithful enough to use it well. Chosen one. If this message has taught us anything, it's this. God is far more concerned with who you are becoming than with how much you are earning, because money can build a comfortable life, but only character can sustain a meaningful one. And sometimes, one of God's greatest gifts isn't the wealth you pray for. It's the person who helps you remain faithful when that wealth finally arrives. So don't chase relationships that merely satisfy your emotions. Pray for relationships that strengthen your purpose. Don't rush God's timing because of loneliness. Trust His preparation because He sees the future you cannot. Remember, the right partner will never replace your relationship with God. They will help you grow deeper in it. If this message encouraged you, subscribe to the channel and become part of this community of chosen ones who are pursuing God's wisdom, purpose, and faithful stewardship. And if this video spoke to your heart, comment below. I'm preparing for God's purpose. I'd love to hear where you're watching from and what lesson impacted you the most. Finally, if someone came to your mind while watching this message, a friend, a family member, or someone praying for God's direction, share this video with them. It may be the encouragement they need today. Until next time, stay faithful, stay humble, and remember, God doesn't simply prepare blessings for His people. He prepares His people for the blessings He chooses to entrust to them.